a very prominent brand. We're talking about the Hiranandani. You're looking at large-scale projects. You guys are known for scale. Your industry otherwise is obsessed with quick returns. In this kind of a market condition, how does your group commit itself to long-term vision and long-term goals?
ये साहब कौन थे? हमने उनको बोला कि निरंजन हिरानंदानी। ये हिरानंदानी साहब थे। हमने कहा हाँ।
What kind of companies are investing in Regalia Business Park? What kind of clients do you have? Tell us a little bit more about. You're obviously an India advocate, but you're also a Mumbai advocate in the mix, in around where you are. How do you see they can partner with you to make it a mutual success, to make sure that it's reasonably in the right direction? How will commercial real estate in India look different than where we are today? You belong to a very interesting industry, an industry that complements growth across sectors, across industries. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another episode of the Sunny Shah Show. When you look at real estate, when you look at big real estate players, these companies don't just build buildings, they build lifestyles. They build stories in which people live, work, and grow. We are talking about a very prominent brand. We're talking about the Hiranandanis. And we are here with Manish Gupta, who is the director of Regalia Business Park, Hiranandani's commercial real estate group. Manish, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sunny. Thank you for inviting me here.
The pleasure is all mine, Manish. Manish, let's get into this very, very exciting journey of yours. I get fascinated when I look at realtors. I get fascinated when I see the way your industry is shaping up the future of our country. But I also am always curious to know what lies behind in the brains and minds of leaders who work tirelessly in the background to make these things possible. And you being a prominent leader for your group.
Thank you.
I want to know more about you before we even get into this core topic as we discuss the real estate space and what you have to offer. But tell us, before Manish Gupta became the Manish Gupta, how did this journey begin? Can you tell us a little bit more about your background?
Okay, so, I came to Bombay in 1995. From 1995 to end of 1998, I was working in a financial services company. So my background is a finance background. In 1999, 1st January 99, I joined Hiranandani Group, and the role was finance role. Along with finance, I was also looking at the part of business as well, sales, marketing, advertising. And slowly over a period of, last 27 years, quite a lot of departments, I have a lot of functions I have, gone through. Prominent ones being marketing, advertising, sales, finance obviously was the core. Then somewhere in 2005, the shift into commercial real estate happened. And that function has stayed with me till now. And that's the function that, I take care of it.
Was your plan always to be in real estate, or this is something that you stumbled upon, and what led you latch on to it?
There's nothing planned actually, Sunny. This was an opportunity which came, and I presented myself to the opportunity, and that's how, it happened. Not much, I did not know too much about Hiranandani, except for the fact that, yes, they have done some nice township, which everybody goes gaga about. And for the first time when I came to the township and saw it, and I was literally blown away by the kind of, the architecture that it has, the planning it had, and all that. So it was an opportunity which came in, and that's how, I jumped in. I did not know whether, this work that, we are doing, I mean, I will be able to sustain for, such a long time. But the good part of the journey has been that, my transition into different departments, and these were not like 4 months, 5 months, or 8 months kind of a role. So like finance, I held till 2008, and we did everything. I mean, from various banks to financial institutions to foreign banks to Indian, big banks. So simultaneously, I was also looking at the land acquisition at a very early stage.
Okay.
Land acquisition generally at an early stage in your career, those roles are not really given to people who have just joined into the organizations. But I got that opportunity. We did one memorable project in Thane, which is called Hiranandani Meadows. And in that process, I was fully involved right from the inception to the execution. So I have very, very fond memories of different roles that I played till now with the group. And yes, it has been a great journey till now.
Great. How many years have you been with them?
Now 27.
27 years. So practically your entire youth.
Yeah, this is my second job.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first day when you joined this organization? What was the feeling as you reflect
First
back?
day was 1st January 1999. So it was, we used to work from place in Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz was our office. And traveling to office was a little challenge for me, in the sense I used to stay in Nerul. So crossover, 3 modes of transport, one has to, take to reach the office. But it was fun, small office. We had some 10,000 square feet spread over 6 floors or something like that. So, but it was a very cozy office, very conveniently located in terms of the this thing. First day of the office was obviously exciting and something new to learn. And there was a lot of learning right from day one, because my boss I had a terrific boss. He's unfortunately not with us now. But the kind of learning that I had with him personally in various aspects of, he was a hardcore finance person, but he was a great business guy as well. So the business acumen really, so he imparted to the team, that was really, really special. That's the fondest memory that I have.
I often believe that experience is something that cannot be substituted by education. What I'm trying to get to is this 27 glorious years of your career that you spent with the Hiranandanis. There might be some learnings in this journey that evidently got your attention and that makes the person that you are today. Can you cite a few such examples?
So the key learning, in our industry is one is basically, perseverance is something which you have to, you have to continuously, you have to be at it. You have to continuously push the boundary. Make 1 inch progress a day, it does not matter, but you have to be at it. And it has to be a never say die kind of an attitude, because real estate is a game of patience. And we are in the game of creating long-term values.
Yeah.
And you're not creating values for only yourselves. You are creating values for the entire ecosystem. So when we talk about ecosystem, what do we mean? We mean the government, we mean the customers, we mean the vendors, we mean the stakeholders, and we mean employees. So it's a complete ecosystem for which, the value creation is happening. And that is happening on a continuous basis. What happens is, when you pick up a parched or a barren piece of land, and then you put an idea to it, when others have sort of, ignored it, and you have tried to, work on it, because you have a belief. So my founders, they had that belief that, okay, this is the location where, we want to do something which is defining for us, and this will become the landmark for the city.
Yeah.
So that is how the journey of Hiranandani Garden started. So 1983, they took the land. 1987, they started the development. The rest all is history. Everything was not planned on day one.
Right.
You learn it as you...
So it's important that you start.
You start. And you be at it. And you have this attitude of learning every day. You have this attitude of, understanding and not to give up when when faced with difficulty. Never say die at it. You have to continuously be at it. Try and find solutions. Don't be don't let your ego come in between of finding the solutions to the problem. That's the approach that works in real estate.
Manish, your company, the group, the Hiranandanis, is often not just known as a brand in your industry. They are known as city developers. They are known for doing large things. They are known for doing beautiful things. I visited some of your sites. I visited some of your buildings, and I see an artistic approach to everything that you do. I want to know more about the philosophy of how do you approach a project the way you do it. Can you tell us more about it?
So back when they started the real estate development, both the brothers, somewhere in late 70s, 78, 79. And some sporadic projects were undertaken, few buildings in different suburbs. But they were looking for something which could be really defining for them. And there was this opportunity which presented itself in Powai, which is a large 250 acres plus kind of a parcel on which they worked, and they got into the the land acquisition. Then 87 the entire development sort of started. Those are the days of uh, scarcity of capital, scarcity of banking finance, and real estate per se was an emerging sector. Uh, so very difficult days for real estate players to think of a very large concept and have the capability to actually pull it through.
Right.
So the first vision, the first stroke on the painting that you say by Hiranandani is Hiranandani Gardens Powai. And it was the master stroke. There's
Correct.
no doubt about it. But it did not happen in a day. It happened over a period of time. They kept on improvising and they kept on learning from the environment. The key things that they wanted to address right at the beginning itself was, when you go around Mumbai is a weather which is a very harsh weather, especially the monsoons. And monsoons generally create a lot of seepages and leakages into various structures. And then you will have these, buildings having so much of calligraphy on them. You can make out, okay, these are the cracks which are there.
Yeah.
They wanted to get rid of that problem. That was one of the problems that they had identified. So a lot of architecture was studied, and then they settled on something called as neoclassical. And in neoclassical also, what they did was they started doing a system which is now known as the double wall system. So what you create is basically a facade, and there's a small cavity which is left behind the facade, and then you have an internal wall. So then the gap between the outer layer and the internal layer, that acts as a weather shield.
Okay.
And that helps you in monsoon, that helps you during the summers as well. That was a runaway success. That architecture, when it was delivered, it was seamless. It was great in terms of its looks, because when you adopt neoclassical, what you have done is basically you have also adopted for the local conditions. So you improvised it for the local conditions. That was the key part. You cannot just simply, look at, get inspired and just try to bring that concept in its entirety without actually applying to the local conditions. So this was the difference that they had done. So the idea was to create something which will become a defining stroke for them. This becomes sort of a signature on Mumbai skyline. So if you ask me, 100 years later, If Hiranandanis will be known, they'll be still known for Hiranandani Gardens boy, because that's a signature that they are leaving behind for the society, for the city, for the country to sort of cherish. And it did not happen by accident. It happened by a lot of effort, and a lot of effort by the entire team. It's not a one man or two man show. It's never about one man. Real estate is never about one person or two-person. It's always about a team. So that is what happened. So along with the the entire team kept on learning. It's not about few individuals. Yeah, team about learning. And team kept on improvising. So we did better finishes in terms of exteriors. We did better finishes in terms of, the cornices that you see, the pillars that you see, the domes that you see, the grill designs that you see, the windows that you see. So each element, there was not one single element which was not sort of, deep dived, was not looked into, and how we are, impacting. Then there was a very dear subject, which was horticulture. Horticulture was studied in great amount of detail. We wanted trees which were sort of, all 12 months, they will remain green. Those kind of trees we wanted. So they will shed leaves, but they will not shed leaves, and they'll become parched, in that sense. So those trees were done. Then we did a lot of study. We brought a lot of flora and fauna into this thing. The mix was so healthy that it attracts different kinds of birds and species, and so the study was holistic. It cared for the environment. It cared for the open spaces. It cared for the whether you call it roundabouts, the pathways, the walking alleys, and the footpaths, the space for the car parkings, and the gardens. That's how this whole thing started. So we were the pioneers of taking a privately developed such large township that became a hallmark. So this was the first one. Then we repeated this in Thane.
Right.
Then we took it to the other cities. So we did it in Chennai.
Yeah.
So that's the model that we adopted.
Are there any non-negotiables that you keep in mind where you pursue any new project?
For us, the non-negotiable is the ability of value creation. Any project which you are doing, it has to create value. So when you have to create value cannot be created on day one.
Yeah.
Value creation is a continuous process. And when you do continuous process, then you have to bring in each element in time. So when nobody was willing to put up a school in our township, we put up a school ourselves. When people were not willing to put up a formal retail space, we did a formal retail space. When nobody wanted to do a hospital in our layout, we did a hospital ourselves. So, these are the, value additions. They happen over a period of time, and not everything you can put on day one.
Makes sense.
Because then the project is not able to carry that load. Because real estate is a long patience game. Yeah, you will create a long-term value. You cannot create value on day one. It's not like a stock market listing that, okay, by some action, it gets listed at a premium and then you have it. No. So that's how slowly the value creation happened. And we continue to enjoy the benefits of this. And as each of the element keeps getting added into the township, so does the experience with it of the entire team keeps, enriching itself. So now, okay, in the previous building, what you did, okay, this thing possibly did not works that well. So can I make that change? Can I try with a different, material? Oh, now new material has come. Can we look at it? Oh, new style is there. Can we look at it? So we kept on learning, reinforcing the new learning, and kept on moving forward. That's the hallmark of Hiranandani. Whether now they work together, whether they work separately, it does not matter. Wherever and whoever is working, the ethos and the core domain expertise remain the same. The underlying connect is the same.
It's almost like a value book that you.
It's a value book that is got created, and the teams on either side, they're deeply, enriching the whole system because of that.
Interesting. You're looking at large scale projects. You guys are known for scale. Quality is something that you rightly mentioned is something which you don't compromise on. Let's also talk about sustainability. How do you balance all three together?
Yeah. So when the first township came in, we were required to, put up a STP plant, which was central STP plant. So first central STP on a township basis we created, and we camouflaged that entire thing into a garden.
Acha.
So that STP plant is part of a 5+ acres of garden, which is called the Nirvana Park.
Wow.
Now that STP does recycling of almost 2.5 million liters of water per day today. And that entire water is utilized for, the greenery purposes inside the township itself. So what we did is we treated the water, we created that entire model, the network of pipes laid down into the entire township. And this is a model that we repeated in our other townships. And then that water is used for, the purposes of gardening, because it is suitable for gardening purposes. It gives fantastic results as well. So this is like, one of the smallest, element that I am saying. Smallest in the sense that, okay, for others, it may be a big thing. And now, STPs have become more localized, building related now. In a building itself, now you have to provide for the STP facilities and all that. But before the trend actually set in, we did it on a centralized level. So that was one thing. Second was massive afforestation. So we did large amount of afforestation on the 𝗙𝗵𝗴 Hill, which is lush green today. I can show you some of the pictures of early 80s. How it got inherited by us. There was hardly any, there was very, very poor vegetative growth over there. But now you see a complete transformation of 𝗙𝗵𝗴 Hills. That's second part of it. And third part is the choice of materials that we use. So like, I'll give you an example for commercial buildings. Like commercial buildings, there's a choice of, you do full glass facade buildings, or you do neoclassical. We prefer neoclassical. Why we prefer neoclassical? Because neoclassical is proven to be far more energy efficient. It may not look as contemporary as people now like to see, but full glass facade buildings, they radiate heat. They not only, your energy consumption is not only inside more, but not only you are eating yourself, you are eating your neighbors as well. So, what we found very early on that, in our kind of, climate and weather, I think our style of, choice of architecture, that suits us very well. And that helps in terms of energy consumption, so lesser carbon footprint, better for, customers themselves, and care for, neighborhood as well. Otherwise, what happens, you have a very high, glass ratio in a commercial building, because these commercial buildings are typically large floor plates. So the amount of glass that you're putting is humongous. So even though, you put, as much amount of, glazing and different kind of factors that you put into, cut the heat inside the building.
Right.
But whatever gets reflected is warming up the surrounding. That happens less when you have a good concrete to glass ratio. So that's the concept. So that is what, we like to do that. So that's one thing. Then recycling, recharging of pits. A lot of, recharging pits we do in our projects, so that, whatever rainwater we are able to sort of again recharge into the ground. That's what, we do. That's another, major thing. These are some of the things that we continue to do. There are many more, but, and these are the few which I thought.
So interesting. You spoke about value creation. Now, let me ask you a question on that. So, your industry otherwise is obsessed with quick returns. In this kind of a market condition, how does your group commit itself to long-term vision and long-term goals?
Actually, the choice that you make at the beginning itself, that defines that already sets the outcome in a way. So once you have taken a land parcel which is as large as 250, 300 acres, you know that there is a project's life cycle.
Right.
It can't be developed all at once. Neither the resources will be, available, nor market is able to, accept it.
Yeah.
So everything has its own math. It has its own algo on which, it works. And so for us, we know that, okay, initial few years, you'll have to put in a lot of money into infrastructure. So get the roads right, get the walkways right, get the gardens right, get the critical infrastructure which is required, which is power, water, telecommunication, all that. Once that is set, initial buildings come in, and then, large layouts are all about, customers' acceptance of the location, their absorption, their experiences, because customers drive in more customers. I mean, 40% of our sales is generally by a reference or through word of mouth.
Yeah.
So that continues to remain true till now as well. So that's the secret sauce basically, and this can only happen when the people who are coming and staying with us, they are happy. This is how it works.
So, Manish, somebody doesn't just work with a company for 25, 27 years without no reason. I think mostly people work for their leaders. You have a great leader in Mr. Niranjan Hiranandani himself. And in this almost 30 years of association with him and his companies, do you recall any such memory of your interaction with him or an experience with him that still speaks highly about him as a leader?
I think he has a very unique leadership style. He backs his people completely. One is that he'll raise your equity into anything that he is delegated to you. Your equity is raised to infinite in the work that you are doing. And you will always have that confidence and support that as and when you need him, he is right there with you, standing behind you. So that's a unique leadership aspect of him. And that's how, he's so successful, and so he's been able to create, a team which is, self-motivated, charged, and they try and achieve things which are, ordinarily, they look difficult from outside. Few of the things, one of the most memorable incident that I would, recollect is, so when I was handling the advertising marketing bit, we instituted something called as the lighting festival. And we wanted to basically look at the scale of our township. So initially, the idea was that if we were to depict scale of a township, how do we do it? And there was no defining picture that I had. And though that was not time of drones, you could do a helicopter shoot, but then it was a costly affair, and then permissions and all that. So how to depict a scale? So one of these discussions with my advertising agency we were having, and then all of a sudden we decided that, okay, let's see how does, say, Hiranandani estate looks from the top. Are we able to see the skyline, that we call it as a skyline? So there was this building called Apollo in Hiranandani estate, and all of a sudden, all of us, we went up right onto the top of the water tank of that building. And then the idea came, okay, boss, yes, there's some skyline which is there. What if during Diwali period, we do patta lighting of all the buildings that are visible within our township? At that point in time, possibly we had some 70, 75 odd buildings. This is a period which I am talking about, 2003 or something, 2003, 2004. So that thing started and we received a very good response, and then we created as a good feel factor, and that became an annual program. Then came 2008, 2009, when the global financial meltdown happened, and things were not really looking that great. Real estate was also a little subdued at that point in time. And this, when you do it at a scale of a township, it's a decent amount of expense in those days as well. And it was already 5 years in running, so this was the 6th or 7th year. So I went up to boss and I said, this is what we have to do. And he told me, we are not giving increments this year, and you want to do this? I said, yes, sir, we want to do this. He said, okay, go ahead. So we did that. Then so generally it used to be a 5 to 6 days kind of a program. And towards the second last day was Saturday, he called me in the evening. He said, I want to see what you guys do when we, decorate. So he came to Hiranandani estate, and then, we had a 1.5, 2 hours kind of a round, and we met a lot of customers, and people were happy. People gave a very good feedback on overall, this thing. Around 10ish, he was hungry, and so we stopped up on a, sandwich stall, and we had sandwich, and, we packed it and, had it and gone. As he was about to leave, the person who had the stall, he was trying to figure out who this person is. He is not able to recollect who is this person who's coming and having this thing. Appears to be somebody, he did not know that this was Niranjan, Hiranandani. But towards the end, he could not, stop himself, and he asked him. And boss introduced himself like, okay, I'm Niranjan. So he shook hands and he left. Still, he could not, I think, understand whom he had just met. And then he had left, and we were there settling the bills and everything. He said, ये साहब कौन थे? तो हमने उनको बोला कि ये निरंजन हिरनंदानी, ये हिरनंदानी साहब थे? हमने कहा, हाँ, हिरनंदानी साहब थे. And the kind of reaction that we got was so unique, and he couldn't believe that, a man of this stature, would, come to his normal stall and have a sandwich there. But that's the man, he has tremendous amount of humility. He connects with people at a level which, it's unprecedented. And that's how, that's what he is.
Interesting. And I think that level of humility, that level of staying grounded probably amplifies his leadership.
Absolutely. No, it has amplified his aura. The tremendous amount of magnetism about him. Wherever he goes, it's so easy for him to, forge relationships, create friendships. People whom he would not know also, he's able to meet with them so easily. It's very difficult to, it's very, very difficult to, understand how this works. But that's the aura, that's the magnetism that he has. He's able to, just.
Thank you for sharing this.
Yeah.
So we move on to your current baby, Regalia Business Park. For someone who doesn't know about Regalia Business Park and what you guys do, can you give a brief introduction about this, please?
So in Hiranandani group, we had this, commercial vertical, very successful vertical. We had done around overall, commercial landscape in MMR region. We've done around 16 odd million square feet of work. In our previous avatar, we did, sale of one of our significant portfolio in 2017 to Brookfield. And at that point in time, while we were doing this transaction with Brookfield, we also wanted to continue to build more. So, we had undertaken, development in Thane. So, whatever portfolio was sold to them, we again quickly, rebuilt it. Regalia Business Park is an entity which is part of Niranjan Hiranandani group, wherein under his group, we want to create these, commercial parks. We want to create CRE assets, primarily in MMR region, and then followed by, other cities, where we think, we can leverage our strength. We are looking at around 5 to 6 million square feet of scale by 2030, focusing on new age, commercial office development, which are targeted towards the new age workers, which are primarily the Gen Zs and the new generation which is coming in. That's the work that we are doing. Our first project will get delivered later this year.
Okay.
And by July, August, we should be able to deliver that project. That's called East Bridge. That building is around 1 million square feet or so. And that got completely leased out. Office side, we leased out to SmartWorks. Retail side, we are now, we are leasing it out now.
Mhm.
The second project that we have undertaken is on Western Express Highway, near 𝗙𝗪𝗇 Panchayat Road. That project is called Westfield,
Mhm.
and that is what is coming up. It should be around 1.3 million square feet. And there are 3 or 4 more projects which are under active consideration. One project that we want to do, it is in Kalina. That is under active consideration. And there are a few other parcels that we have identified. So overall, in a mix of this entire bouquet, what we have done is we have come out of our township. We have 2 large townships. We are not doing it in township. We have come out in township. What we have looked at is basically the micro markets, and which are the micro markets which we think are, good for, setting up of, newer offices. So that's the work that we are doing in Regalia Business Parks. The strategy is being, completely run by Darshan Hiranandani, who is Mr. Niranjan's son. I report into him.
A quick question. You talk about the fact that you're building IT parks and commercial real estate for the future, for the next gen. Can you tell us a little bit more about how your vision is going to make your buildings set apart from what we are used to in terms of IT corporate parks or other commercial buildings?
So now the new buildings which are happening, they are very high on ESG compliance.
Okay.
So all the elements of ESG, they have to be they are non-negotiables.
Right.
Your indoor air quality, at least in the common areas, non-negotiable. You have to have, them. A lot of collab spaces you have to provide. You have to have a lot of, sporting, facilities, whatever is possible to be given within the, within the campus itself or within the, development itself. Those need to be, given. These are non-negotiables. Some of the facilities like crash and, the other things which are there, that comes as a, mandate. You have to do it. The cafes, the, informal meeting points, the, lot of areas where, people can just sit and do work quietly. Those are the spaces which are required to be met. I mean, not to forget the green aspect of it. The buildings have to be designed for the green certification, and you You have your, you try and we follow the neoclassical this thing so that, or the energy consumption is much lesser. So as many points as you can cover. And the key part of the defining part of our new developments is that we are trying to take projects which are possibly transit oriented.
Okay.
So commute friction is what, we want to bring down. So if I am taking a project which is closer to a metro location,
Right.
metro station location, or it is closer to the metro and a suburban, station, and also closer to a highway. Those are the locations which we think that our belief is that the clients are going to give a higher approval rating on. And that's how, we think that they will be very, very successful projects. That is what, we are doing. And this is the sort of a future thinking or future proofing that we are doing.
Interesting. So, what kind of companies are investing in Regalia Business Park? What kind of clients do you have? You tell us a little bit more about it.
So the first building, fortunately, one single client, took up. So from a Regalia Business Park perspective, okay, the first one is only one single client, but we are having good conversations on the second one, which we are
Sure.
discussing. So these are corporates, the IT companies as well. These are some of the consulting ones as well. That's the emerging landscape.
So let me expand to that question. What kind of companies can pursue you for the real estate needs? Are you looking at large corporations? Are you looking at mid-market companies? Do you have something for everyone? How does that look like?
So what we are able to do through our plan in any layout is modularity and scalability at the same time.
Okay.
So the way we design our codes, the way we define our buildings, it is possible for us to, accommodate smaller players also and for larger players as well. So that's how, you plan your flow plates. So we are modular and scalable at the same time. So for me, if a new GCC setup wants to come and do a smaller, floor offices in our new buildings, that is also possible. Somebody wants multiple floors. Somebody wants multiple floors with dedication of possibly a lift bank. Then after a particular size, I'm able to do that. We just recently did a project in on 𝗙𝗪𝗏 Road, wherein it was a multi-tenanted building, but one of our corporates whom we relocated from their existing location into this building, we gave them their exclusive lift bank. We gave them their exclusive number of floors. We created special atriums for them. 𝗏𝗏 is the name of the corporate. And that's how, we do. So the thing is, it's all function of, design element. And
Right.
what you do is basically, when you are trying to solve for smaller client problem, you do not bifurcate all your floors. You reserve certain floors which will be sort of, broken into smaller parts.
Sure.
And then you keep the bulk of the floors as the one, larger capacity. So that's how, generally this problem is solved. So we are able to cater to all, corporates. There's
Interesting.
which are permissible under the ITS policy.
A lot of industries got disrupted post-pandemic. Real estate is not alien to that. Do you think customers look at real estate differently? Have you seen that thought process getting changed post-pandemic? What are your observations there?
So key observation is that one thing which we thought that this entire movement of co-working spaces, whether that as a movement or whether that as a trend, how deep it is and how sustainable it is. It was in its early fancy days just prior to COVID, and then the COVID happened, and then this entire thing happened. I think that trend has just gotten strengthened very, very deeply. And now the 20 to 25% of newer consumption last year is happening either through them for the end clients, or they're also going in for, some of these speculative build outs as well. That was one clear shift which happened. So basically what people are saying, what corporates are trying to solve for is they are trying to solve for is a complete, they're completely outsourcing the solution.
Okay.
Saying that infra, I'm not creating. Services also, I'm not doing. I want to just come with my computers and be in the facility. And I want a solution wherein if I'm not able to understand the length of my stay into this, I need that flexibility. So adaptability in terms of, lower tenure of the, the agreement, that was a big question mark 3 or 4 years ago, whether this is a sustainable movement or no, whether the return on capital happens or no. What will happen if, somebody leaves in 6 months. But what we are seeing is that corporates are doing it 3 years, 5 years, and even longer, arrangements with these large players. And that is how they are building fast. And that is how they are, redeploying the, that's a very, very clear and visible shift. And it actually, solves a lot of problems for corporates if they want to be, testing it initially without, putting in too much of capex themselves. They have a straight, model available, and they can focus on, what they know, what is their core, business. So I think that is one clear trend, which has emerged. The another thing which is, happening today is during COVID time, while the work from home culture, sort of picked up, the hiring also was, simultaneously going on. Hiring was happening, but new office buildup was not there. So as a result, there are a lot of large corporates, especially the GCCs, which have much higher headcount today, and their number of seat counts are, much lower. The ratio could be almost, 60-40. So, which basically means the hybrid work, which is still got a little elongated late into 23, 24, in some places till 25 also, wherein, people are coming only 3 days or 4 days to an office. That has resulted into number of people on the payroll are much higher. So the moment they ask for, space, this thing, then everybody is going to run for, looking out for space. And that is a situation with a lot of large corporates. So that's a clear trend which is there. And that is where, even the co-working model or the managed office space model is also getting, some of the demand from.
Interesting.
Because, that's the work which is happening. Will work always remain like hybrid? I think 15% of work will remain hybrid for a long time. That's the trend that, we have to, assume. But is office growth really required? We are 1 billion square feet today. Approximately 1 billion square feet of CRE space all over India. That's the equivalent amount of vacancy in US.
Oh, okay.
US vacant office space is 1 billion square feet. They are 5 billion square feet market. We are a 1 billion square feet market. And look at the population comparison, there's no comparison. But I think the bottom line is, if India has to grow, if India is looking at 2047 as a dream of creating a 𝗕𝗂𝗍 Bharat, the entire corporate services will have to grow. The commercial parks have to come in. You have to build more. You have to provide for more services. That's the logical way of growing. So one of these reports which I was reading from one of these IPCs, they're assuming that from 1 billion square feet to 2 billion square feet, we will reach by 2047. My view is that we will hit that mark even much before 2047. It should be by 2040 itself. So we will be a 2 billion square feet, CRE market. So
we're extremely bullish about this.
Yeah, I mean, it will continue. This natural progression will continue, because if you have to sustain your growth at around 7 to 8%, office will play a very significant role. Cities will have to grow. Cities only cannot build residential complexes or buildings without actually providing space for people who are staying there to work. So it will continue. It will continue. There's no option.
Let's talk about the global capability centers. I'm sure you are extremely invested in this insurge of companies stepping into India. And I also have heard you on different forums where you're obviously an India advocate, but you're also a Mumbai advocate in the mix. And I wanted to circumvent a couple of questions around your belief system that how can companies consider Mumbai over some of the other states and some of the other locations in India? And what unique propositions do we have to offer to them that by virtue of this conversation people can understand?
So I think Mumbai is not a competition to any other state. Mumbai is a complementary strategy. There's a new term that people keep calling about as HQ2 in GCC landscape. If you're looking at a HQ2 kind of a situation, then you're talking about a deep talent which is diverse in nature, which is great in tech, great in finance, great in marketing, great in this thing. From the talent depth perspective, Mumbai offers unparalleled, advantages. We have in last, 10 years or so, the amount of infrastructure which has now come to the city of Mumbai, which is unfolding itself, every day we keep seeing the changes on its skyline. It is unparalleled in history. It's a $50 billion equivalent of investment that government has, put on block for one city alone. And it is a lot. I mean, just to tell you an example of metro, 337 kilometers of metro line network is, proposed in this phase when it, gets completed. There'll be 225 stations. There are 14 lines that they're talking about. It will connect the city east to west so thoroughly and so completely that, in so many other cities, we keep talking about outer ring roads, the circular way of, movement. Metro is doing that part for Mumbai. Mumbai was always considered to be a linear city, north-south, and a little bit towards the east. But, that was the major, attraction. That is something which is going to, completely transform the city. We just now got a new airport, the second airport. The second airport is getting connected to the existing one also through a metro. That also has been announced. The government has already approved. I'm sure in next 3 to 4 years, you will have that, possibly that metro also running. Why we get this confidence is because 22 kilometers of, 22 kilometers of Atal Setu they could build in the sea. And this has all happened in front of our own eyes. 5 or 7 years, they were able to, bring that about. So infrastructure is now happening at a speed which was not seen earlier. So this is believable. So today, when I go and present to anybody, any, foreign, any MNC or something, this story is believable because they can see in front of their own eyes. It is no longer about presentations. It's no longer about my belief system. It is the whole system which is working and which is saying, boss, we are delivering it to you. We are bringing infrastructure to you, which is what your demand was. Are you ready with your investments into the city? By, actually saying that, okay, we take up the challenge now from here. I think the challenge is to the industry. So Regalia is playing a part of, understanding this infrastructure layering. And infrastructure layering is only not about this core, hardcore, this thing. You see the city skyline itself changing. The old buildings are giving it to the new one. The redevelopment cycle. The government is pushing that also, very aggressively. Then there's a vision of slum-free Mumbai. It's a very large vision. I'm saying that even in 10 years, if you are able to achieve 60, 70, 80% of it also, you have done a fantastic amount of job for a very, very large, significant geography. Then they're talking about Mumbai 3.0, which is completely new region. So growth in the city has no bounds.
Right.
It is unshackled. We are talking about a new port, the 𝗲𝗏 port. Chief Minister is so, passionate about it. We're talking about multimodal corridor, which is connecting from Virar to Alibag. That is happening.
Yeah.
𝗬𝗏 expressway has already happened. So I'm saying that, the number of points that you put in your, presentation or sheets, they're just so many, and they are all seen to be believed. The coastal road is a prime example. It's a beautiful road which has now come through. So the point is this, that infrastructure is available on a per capita basis in the city, in the larger MMR region, and it is unparalleled in anywhere. And Mumbai is not competing with anybody. Mumbai is only inviting people, ke Baba, please come, look at us as a complementary strategy also. Look at it as a HQ2 strategy also. Look at it as a new, setup as well. So that's where. And Regalia is playing a very key role in this by selecting the various, pockets in the city, trying to leverage because of the infrastructure, enabling infrastructure is the government has provided, and trying to, attract the new GCCs, the new companies who are wanting to, now, expand in the city.
A quick follow on to that. Let's say, for example, developers like you and global capability centers seekers like the foreign companies who want to set up in India. How do you see partnerships brewing up in this space? Let's say, for example, if there are large companies who want to set up their base in around where you are, how do you see they can partner with you to make it a mutual success?
I think, we are quite open to, ideas, exploring this space. We are an infrastructure layer provider. We can work out, models which can make, business sense for the large GCC players also, and for us as well. We are quite, open to those ideas. Our playbook is not one segment focused.
Okay.
One segment which we are, which right now is gaining a lot of this thing is GCC. We're also reaching out to, corporates. We are also reaching out to the IT clients. We are also reaching out to the, the engineering guys and pharma guys and everybody.
Right.
So we are industry agnostic. We are bringing in a product which appeals to everybody. If there is any specific need that needs to be addressed for a specific category of clients, we are absolutely, open to understand and deep dive and see how meaningful relationships can be, forged there. There's no issue at all.
Manish, at your level, your decisions can impact thousands of people. How do you balance that to make sure that it's reasonably in the right direction?
So decision-making process is intuitive, data-based, democratic, and autocratic. I think you cannot pick any one bucket. It's a mix of this thing. And when you're trying to look at a particular project or site, my current role is basically we are trying to understand which site is a good one to, go for, which is the one which possibly right now is not the right one in the later stage. So each of these segments, they play their key role. Ultimately, there is a business matrix. There's a financial matrix which we have to sort of, deliver. That financial matrix is key to, reach that objective. But if we take a view that, okay, that particular aspect can be met, it may not happen on day 1, day 2, day 3, but over a period of time, or that time frame which is acceptable to the stakeholders, still you are able to drive through the decisions. But all the four aspects which I said, which is data, which is intuitive decision, democratic also, and also you have to know where you have to take the call.
Sure.
So it's a mix of it, and that's how I like to approach my work, and that's how we are identifying new sites and moving around.
Let's fast forward ourselves to 10 years in the making. How will commercial real estate in India look different than where we are today?
I think 10 years we should be around 2 billion square feet if India grows very fast. We have 1 billion square feet today in terms of CRE capacity. If India is chasing a target of around 8%, 8.5% of GDP, then we have to build more. That's the clear answer. So I want to see having almost 2 billion square feet of commercial real estate in the country. And this is all grade A assets we are talking about, ESG compliant, absolutely modern. And what happens is a lot of people say, okay, we are not having large campuses, or we can only deliver campuses and this thing. We have to also understand the cities in which you are building, the land availabilities are a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So what you are able to provide is an environment within a limited space. We are not a country wherein per capita consumption of space per employee can be designed for 250 square feet per person. I mean, US real estate became that big only because they were following for a longest time 175 to 250 square feet per person kind of a density. That is not possible to plan in India. So we have to work with our limitations as well, and within the same limitations, I think this growth is possible.
Mm-hmm.
We are growing fast, and we have to align ourselves to the country's target of Viksit Bharat. Viksit Bharat is 2047. I think we should try and achieve that by 2040 somehow.
And what excites you the most about this future?
In the entire country, infrastructure is improving. That's the very, very positive aspect of it. And I feel very happy that we are able to see so much of it in front of our own eyes. It's believable. Everywhere it is believable. If we keep this pace going, at least, we have provided for next 50 years, next 60 years kind of a roadmap to the country. And I believe this is only a phase one. Then there is a phase two, and then there is a phase three, which is a logical progression, because highways get connected to multimodal transportways. Then your bullet trains will come. Then your lot of logistic parks are happening. A lot of new industries are coming. New industrial corridors are framing up. So it's all integrated, and it will keep on happening. First phase, second phase, third phase, fourth phase. So I think we are on a perfect, growth path.
Mm-hmm.
The trajectory is right. We have to just keep on believing in this process, that this asset building, there's a national asset building which is happening. All this infrastructure which is being laid is a national asset. So this national asset building program which is happening, this will give us disproportionate return. It has a compounding effect. You will not be able to see it immediately, but it will have a compounding effect, and all the industry segments are going to benefit. Everybody is going to get benefited out of this. That's where the fun is.
Any company of any size trying to get into India, or any company from a global capability standpoint who are already in India but want to look at Mumbai as an alternative, how would you appeal them as a partner in their story, as a developer, as a brand? What do you have on table that gives them immense comfort that if they want to expand in Mumbai region, they should look for nobody else but Regalia Business Parks?
So my message to people or the companies who are looking at setting up the new GCC centers in Mumbai is very simple. You please come to Mumbai, come and have a look at what Hiranandanis have been able to deliver in their previous avatar. What is our current capability? What is our current deliveries which are coming on board? How we have thought about sustainability, how we have thought about new age design, how we are combining the transit-oriented developments now in the city. What are the new methods? What are the new way of putting the interiors across? How we are giving modularity and scalability at the same time. These are the features which you will get when you deal with players like us. We have done it in past. We are doing it as of now, and we'll continue to do it in future. That's what makes us different from others.
Fantastic. We get to a very interesting segment of our episode, which we call as the rapid fire. So I'll throw questions at you, and you have to give very, very brief responses to them. So are you geared up for it?
Yeah, sure.
One leadership principle that you live by.
You have to lead by example. You have to do it all by yourself. And the thing which you expect others to follow, you have to do it first.
So lead by example. One mistake young professionals should avoid.
Distraction, how you can get, it's very easy to get distracted these days.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are able to, keep a focus, that's the key mantra.
One book or a thinker that shaped yourselves.
I used to hear on a philosophical note Osho a lot, so I would recommend people to reflect how he used to approach problems and think.
India's biggest unrealized potential.
I would say real estate. I would say internal tourism as well. There are many things that we can do, and the current budget has rightly identified few of these sectors. I think we are going to do quite well over there.
And the last one, define Hiranandani in one word.
Hiranandani is a brand which believes in creating superior value for all its stakeholders on a continuous basis. That's the Mool mantra of our organization. That's the Mool mantra of our existence. Whatever we do, we have to create value, and value is all pervasive. It's not only for the owners, it's for customers, it's for employees, it's for vendors, it's for the entire ecosystem. That's the only way that we continue to grow.
One word is value.
Value creation.
Great. Mr. Manish, thank you for enlightening us and walking us through your personal journey as well as your professional journey. You belong to a very interesting industry, an industry that complements growth across sectors, across industries. You come from an industry that inevitably has to evolve and grow and catalyze the future of our country. And in doing so, I'm sure you take a lot of gratitude, you take a lot of pride, and you're going to create and leave behind a lot of cement sculptures that would talk highly about the legacy as you reflect back on your journey.
Yeah, so in Hiranandani language, we call it signature on the skylines of city. Hiranandani's signature on the Mumbai skyline is very, very evident and it's indelible. That is what they will, leave behind. And we are extremely, extremely proud of, working with them. And whatever we have been able to create as a team, each one of us in the entire company is very, very proud of.
Fantastic. Mr. Manish, it was my pleasure having you on the show today.
It was mine to, you invited me for this show. It was my pleasure to be here. And thanks for giving me this time and the opportunity to talk.
Thank you once again. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Manish Gupta, boy oh boy, isn't he an advocate for Mumbai? If you are willing to come to India, or if you're already in India and want to expand your operations in Mumbai, you know whom to reach out to. The description has all the details in case you need to reach out to Manish and his team. You have everything that you need in the description down there. Please subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so that I'm able to bring more and more such meaningful conversations at your doorstep every single week. Until then, this is me signing off. Thank you so much.